welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be starting a reading vlog because I have some really fun books to read for this entire week, or however long it takes me, honestly. And I'm also traveling 2 days from now. Not like a trip, I'm just going back to my hometown, so hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done too. So yeah, I have some great books that I want to cover or finish in this video. I'm currently reading Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I've heard great things about this book from literally all of my favorite booktubers and all book content creators, and honestly this cover too just brought me in. I don't know why, but green and pink together just does something to my brain. So yeah, I really wanted to pick up this book. All the reviews of the book at the back are just so great. Like when I read all of these reviews, I was like, damn, is this book going to change me? Because that's what it looks like. But yeah, I'm like halfway through the book, and off the bat when I started this book, I could see how beautiful it's written. Like literally there are portions in there, like whole pages where I read it and then I go back and I read it again just to appreciate how well it's written, how beautiful it's written. Some analogies, some comparisons that he makes and then writes them down so beautifully. It's just mind-blowing. Literally I think not even 30 pages into the book I have like entire paragraphs marked because it's just how beautifully they are written. I think I would like to read out one portion. It's about sleeping because our main character is an insomniac and this is how he sees sleeping as. I can't find it. For as long as he could remember, Cyrus had thought it unimaginably strange the body's need to recharge nightly. The way sleep happened not as a fact like swallowing or using the bathroom, but as a faith. People pretended to be asleep, trusting eventually their pretending would morph into the real thing. It was a lie you practiced nightly, or if not a lie, at least a performance. And while performance did not necessarily void sincerity, it certainly changed it. The speech you practiced in front of the mirror was always different than the one you ended up giving. Nothing else worked this way, insisting upon pretending. You didn't sit in front of a plate of rice, pantomiming swallowing in order to take the tiny grains into your stomach. Sleep alone demanded that embarrassing recital. As if to incentivize the whole ordeal, the body offered you dreams. In exchange for a third of your living, you were offered sprawling feasts, exotic adventures, beautiful lovers, wings, or at least the promise of them, made only slightly intoxicating by the curious threat of nightmare. How sometimes at random your mind would decide to reduce you to a whimper or a gasp in the night. This is just one such instance where I'm telling you guys that it's beautifully written. There are a lot of parts, a lot of concepts, or a lot of things that he has just compared to something that you would never imagine comparing. You never think about it in that way, or at least I would never think about them in that way. And reading it and seeing that put onto the paper in such beautiful words is a great experience. But yeah, as for the plot, we are following an Iranian man who is living in America. He shifted to America with his father right after his birth, after he lost his mother, who was traveling on a plane to Iraq, and the plane was shot down by the US Army. So he has obviously had a very different childhood from a lot of people, and when he grows up and he moves out to college, he loses his father as well. So he's always like, he's lost his parents, and he just at this point in his life, when I think he's 30 years old, he's actually battling addiction. He's trying to get sober, and he wants to write a book about martyrdom because he wants his life and his death primarily to mean something. He doesn't just want to die for nothing, which is what he feels like his mother or his father had. Like they died for nothing, like not in like a demeaning way, but like he explains that there were 290 people over the plane. All 290 of them died, but if my mother was not there, it would just be 289 people died. So like her death singularly was kind of meaningless. So he's trying to write a book about that, and he comes across this artist who is doing this exhibition at the museum where she's gonna die of cancer. So she's gonna let people come and talk to her, like just random people can come up to her and they can talk to her. She is dying, and he just finds that concept so fascinating. He thinks that she's actually making her life worth something, or her death worth something, and he wants to talk to her in order to get more ideas and things about his book. And that is what like Like I've told you a lot. I don't think I knew that much about this plot before. But yeah, that's what this is, and it's just an interesting concept. At this point in the book, we have got a good backstory about him, his father, his mother, even his uncle, and yeah. I don't really have anything else to say at this point other than the fact that it's such a beautifully written book, and the story is not like, I feel like in some books when we focus too much on the writing where it's just too beautifully written, you're just focusing on that, you feel like the plot's slipping away and you don't really focus on the plot, or you feel like the plot is dragging on. But I don't feel that in this book because the plot is going at a very comfortable pace and I'm really enjoying it. Obviously there are, like I said, there are parts of this book that I'm repeating and rereading because they're just so well written. Like it's like I read this book and there are multiple times in the book when I realize, wow, this is talent. This is talent. This is what talent looks like. It's just so well written. But yeah, I'm having a great time, and like I said, I'm halfway through the book, so I'm probably gonna finish it in like a day or two, and I'm gonna be traveling day after tomorrow, so I didn't want to trust Amazon's delivery, so I went ahead and today only I bought the next book that I would want to read, and that is Kairos by Jenny Erpenback. This is the International Booker Prize winner of 2024. It is, I think, written in German and it's been translated by Michael Hoffman, and it is set in Berlin, 1986. That is pretty much all I remember about this book because I got this recommendation from Jack Edwards. He had given this 5 stars, and remember I was on a trip and I saw this book at the airport bookstore and I just clicked a picture of this, not knowing anything about it. I don't know why. Cover just pulled me in, honestly. I just really loved this cover, and I have the picture of that on my in my gallery. I think a few days later, a few weeks later, I saw a video by Jack Edwards where he was saying that this is a 5-star read for him, and I was like, I will read that book one day. So I went ahead and I bought it, and I hope you really enjoyed this. But yeah, more about this later once I'm done with Martyr, and I'm gonna start this later on. Today is a Sunday. I'm gonna be traveling on Tuesday, so let's see. Hopefully I can finish this before then. It's a few days later, and as you guys saw, I finished Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, and I really do not have any words to describe this because it was just beautiful. The way it was written, the topics that it was discussing, it was just so well done, so perfectly done that I kept going back to a lot of the parts in the book and rereading those and like underlining those and just I had a great time. Like, I finished this, I think, yesterday or day before yesterday, and I keep opening the book again and again to read those parts that I've underlined, and it's just so well done is the way I would put this book. It's so well done in every single aspect. The topics that it's covering, the way it's covering them, every single way. It's about addiction, it's about recovery, it's about love, it's about, I think, to some extent, self-identity as well, as to what extent you push yourself or push your people around you to become the person that you're meant to be. It's about art. It's heavily about art and how art blossoms different people in different forms, and how different situations affects people in different ways, which then affects their art in different ways. And I mean, I really do not have anything else to say about this book other than that it was just an amazing read, and I will always remember these characters. I will always remember this entire everything, honestly. Every single character of this book, I don't know what to explain. They were just amazing. Not just our main character, but the main character's father, mother, the significant other, a few other characters as well that you see throughout the book. And everyone was just such a great character, such depth to their characters, and how all of them were so involved in their lives. I really cannot think of anything else right now. But if I do have anything else to add to this, I will definitely do it at the end once I'm back home. But yeah, that was our first book, and I think that was definitely a 5-star read. I might even add a few quotes and a few passages from this book because it was just such a great read. Yeah. So I want to read out one more passage. I think I read out to you the sleeping, how it's a performance, that passage. I want to read out this passage as well, which is about how people consider themselves as being good or not. Asked about the difficulties of sculpture, Michelangelo said, "It's easy. You just chip away all the stone that isn't David. It's simple to cut things out of a life. You break up with a shitty partner, quit eating bread, delete the Twitter app. You cut it out, and the shape of what's actually killing you clarifies a little. The whole Abrahamic world invests itself in this promise. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't fuck or steal or kill, and you'll be a good person. 8 of the 10 commandments are about what thou shalt not." I'm sorry if I butchered that. But you can live a whole life not doing any of that stuff and still avoid doing any good. That's the whole crisis. The rot at the root of everything. The belief that goodness is built on a constructed absence, not doing. That belief corrupts everything, has everyone with any power sitting on their hands. A rich man goes a whole day without killing a single homeless person, and so goes to sleep content in his goodness. In another world, he's buying crates of socks and Cliff bars and tents, distributing them in city centers. But for him, abstinence reigns. I mean, this is just one other example, but there are so many parts in this book that are so well. Really a one-off book that I've read in my life. When I think about this book, I do not think I have read any other book like this before. I generally cannot like compare it to any of the books that I have read previously, and I think that's a really big thing to say. But yeah, enough for this book. I have started our next book in this video, and that is Kairos by Jenny Erpenback. This book has been translated from German, and this was also the winner of the International Booker Prize 2024, and I've just started it, and not gonna lie, I'm struggling a little bit because the writing style is a lot like Sally Rooney, where she's not using any quotation marks, so it's just like one paragraph of conversations back and forth, but it's a little, like, I'm having a little bit of a time adjusting to that because I do not really like that kind of a writing style. But yeah, as of right now, main characters have just met, and our male main character, Hans, is much elder to our female main character. Like, he knows and he's met her mother and all, and she's just 19 years old, whereas he has been writing books ever since she was literally born. So he must be like 30, 40 or more than that. But yeah, that's literally all of the information I have right now. I will read more. I'm only on page 15 of this book, not much. But yeah, I will read more and I'll let you guys know. I just really hope I really enjoyed this book because I've heard great things about this book. I've heard a lot of people who've read this book gave it 5 stars, and obviously was the winner of the international prize. So I really hope I really enjoyed this as well. Not gonna lie, I don't think I like it as much as I liked Martyr, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be a good book or a great experience or a great read. It doesn't have to be. mind-blowing like Martyr, but I really hope I enjoy it. But yeah, that's all I have to update you guys at the moment. Hi guys, it's honestly months later because I actually had to DNF this book and then I completely forgot that I was recording a video. So that's my fault. I'm finally here to finally just complete this video. So like I said, I unfortunately had to DNF this book, but I just could not get along with it. I read quite a bit of it. I think I read more than 100 pages, but this book was just not for me. And there are multiple reasons for that, honestly. The writing style, I just couldn't get used to the writing style. Every few pages, it felt like I have to adjust to the writing style again and again, which I think is my fault completely, not the author's fault or something. It's just that writing style was not for me. But I still feel like I could have put aside the writing style if the plot was something that I was finding really interesting, which I was in the beginning. Earlier I mentioned that I think the male main character is around 30-40 years old, whereas our female main character is around 19 years old. I was wrong. He is not 30-40 years old. They have a 30-40 year old age gap. He's like in his 50s, 60s, and she's literally just becoming an adult. She literally just has gotten permission to travel to the other side of the wall, which is what was there in Germany at the time. Like, that's a huge age gap. And in the beginning, I was really enjoying it because it was done very, I think, tastefully, that there are two people, completely different generations almost. Yeah, like there's one man who has fought in wars and there's one woman who is sort of seeing the post-war era where there's different worries, different day-to-day worries that she has to go through as compared to what he had to go through when he was young, when he was like a 25-year-old man. But yeah, I think that part was done very tastefully, where despite those differences, these people have come together and they feel for each other and they appreciate each other, they want to be with each other. It wasn't very lustful. I feel like that relationship, it was very authentic, I would like to say. But then this book just went in a completely weird direction where that 60-year-old man started behaving like a 16-year-old man. And our 19-year-old girl had to then, I think, be the mature one, which just didn't sit right with me. Like, it just felt wrong. Those parts just felt wrong. Like, you're a 60-year-old man who's having an affair with a 19-year-old woman. Literally girl, 19-year-old girl. And if you love her so much and your relationship is not purely lust, then why can't you leave your wife to be with her? But he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to leave his wife because he still loves his wife and they have a good relationship. And well, they're in the same age group, so they have that understanding. And he needs someone to understand him in that aspect, which obviously a 19-year-old girl cannot understand what a 60-year-old or 50-year-old man has gone through in his entire life. But to not give her that chance by keeping both of them around, not letting her go, not wanting to divorce your wife, it just did not sit right with me. And obviously a 19-year-old, she is kind of helpless in the situation because it just didn't sit right with me. And I know at the back of the book it says that I think cheats on him and that leads to a whole ordeal. And I just didn't want to read more, but because I knew what's going to happen. She's going to have to find support or connection with someone else, someone who's closer to her age group, I think, because I think she moves for college or something. She moves to a different place and she finds a friend there. I think she's going to cheat on the 60-year-old man with him. And then obviously him being a complete man-child is going to make it very, very difficult for them to move past all of that. And I did not want to go through the entire stuff. Just this book did not sit right with me. Don't want to say that the book is bad. I just feel like maybe if I had continued reading all of these things that I find really atrocious would have redeemed themselves. But I just could not put myself through that, so I DNF'd the book. Yeah, but I'm honestly really happy with this video because I read Martyr, which I still stand by the fact that it was a 5-star read. It's been months later and I still think about that book. I still think about those characters, the writing style and everything. I still think about it, and it is definitely one of my favorite books of all times. And if there's one thing you take away from this video, it is, I really hope it's that you read Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I would suggest to read Kairos as well if what I described is something that you would find interesting or intriguing, but it wasn't for me, honestly. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad book, because obviously it's a winner of the International Booker Prize. And one thing I've noticed, I do not like International Booker Prize winner books. I tried to read 7 Moons of Mali Almeida, which was the 2023 or 2022 winner. I couldn't get into it that as well. Just didn't sit right with me. I think that reflects on my taste. I do not have a very good taste, is I think what this means. But I'm okay with that because I enjoy reading the books that I enjoy reading, and Martyr was a great example for that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very, very soon.